Cooking up love, hey.
I'm pairing this with steak bites and asparagus. This is the plated look. This goes really well for making a ham for Christmas. This will go very well with that. These are my cheesy delmonico potatoes, waiting for a cheese pull and all that creaminess. Look at that. They're piping hot. These will be a favorite for the holiday, but I do eat them a couple times a year too, during the year. Follow along with me. We're going to make this, it's called delmonico potatoes, but it's similar to a scallop potato, except it's chunks instead of slices. So follow along with me to make some delmonico cheesy potatoes. I'm starting off with, I diced about 4 or 5 potatoes, depending on the size and how much you want. And then I have a 9x13 pan, so I'm using my smaller pan today. I'm not going to make a large batch, but 4 to 5 potatoes, bring those to a boil until they soften. Okay, the potatoes are tender and ready to eat. You just want to like taste one or stick a fork in it. You just want them to be tender to the point of being edible. I'm going to strain this. You don't need all that water. And then I'm going to put it directly in my 9x13 pan while we make the sauce. This is what it should look like. It's kind of like filled the pan halfway, so you have more than just a single layer of potato. You got a good, half the pan here. And then we're going to move on to the sauce. Okay, so I'm reusing the same pan because who wants to have a ton of pans after you cook? I do that a lot. 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter in the pan, and we're going to melt that. We're making a roux now. And to that roux, we are going to add a 1/4 pound of sliced American cheese. I use Land O'Lakes and sharp cheddar. So we're using 2 different cheddars. For the mix, we're using the American, which is going to mix very well with the sharp. And then for the top layer, we're going to use mild cheddar. I always use mild. So I use 2 different cheeses. You can see that butter is starting to melt. Once that butter is completely melted, we'll add equal parts. I use Bob's Red Mill brown rice flour. So I use just a basic flour. Whatever you normally make your roux with is fine, but if you have never made a roux, I find the easiest thing is the brown rice flour with no added, gums and different stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to add the flour here. 1, 2. I'm going to start off with 2 because I kind of did about that in butter. And then it's going to look weird. It's going to be, you're going to get this chunky consistency, and that's how you know you've done it right. All the butter is absorbed, and it makes a chunky, sorry for the noise, chunky consistency. And then add about 3 to 4 cups of milk. I prefer whole milk. 1, 2, 3, yeah, closer to like 4 cups. I don't measure anything, so bear with me. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to stir all that in. Those, the chunky parts of flour and butter, you kind of want to break those against the side of the pan and do this until it thickens. Keep it on a medium high and let it kind of thicken a little bit. It's not going to thicken a lot. It's not going to be like gelatinous or anything like that, but you want to see a thickening. So we'll come back when that happens. Okay, that is ready to accept the cheese. I don't know if you can tell that that's a little less milk consistency. It's a little thicker. You'll see it when you stir it. You'll definitely be able to see it. Maybe not on camera. So to repeat myself, I'm adding a 1/4 pound of white American cheese. And I'm also adding, I had an 8-ounce bar. I cut that in half. And I'm doing 4 ounces of sharp cheddar. So you kind of want that like smoothness. You can see that thickening up now. and add it in a little bit at a time. This is more, you know, if you think of like scalloped potatoes, which this is just based off of, they're just chunks instead of slices. You know, the sauce is really creamy. So it's not super cheesy. You just kind of want like a creamy, cheesy sauce. Oh, this looks so good. So look at that. That's your cream sauce. That's going to go over the potatoes. And then you're going to have a beautiful topping of more cheese. I'm going to back this up. And I'm going to go ahead and take the potatoes and put them here. And I'm going to pour my roux. And I always make too much roux. So use whatever you need. Just kind of dump the rest because I don't know how to make the exact amount of roux because I make it different every time. I cut a different amount of potatoes. You want to stir this in. Make sure it's all incorporated and that it's creamy. Make sure. Actually, I think I am going to use all the roux today. Oh, I might have done it this time. No, I'll have a little left over. But yeah, you just want like a creamy center. Okay, so you see how that looks. Delicious already. And you can tell that's going to be creamy. And then I have my mild cheddar. Remember, we use sharp in the sauce, mild on top. And I'm just going to dump that. And then we're going to bake this in the oven. 425 is what I always bake at. Unless I tell you otherwise, I'm always using 425. Just kind of spread that around. You can use a fork. You don't have to use your fingers if you're don't like touching food. Yeah, just spread that around, and then we're going to bake that in the oven until it's a golden brown on top, kind of a little crispy and melted. And here it is, golden brown, bubbling on the sides, loaded with cheese. These are similar to scalloped potatoes. They're just cut in cubes instead. So if you love that, you're going to love this.